Welcome back to our channel, friends. Today, we begin a powerful new story about a boy who takes his first flight to London. Not for a holiday, but to learn English and change his life. This is not just a story. It's a strategy, a mindset, and a mission. Let's begin with Chapter 1. First Flight, First Dream. In simple, easy English for all learners. A small town, a big dream. There was a boy named Leo. He lived in a quiet little town near the mountains. The roads were dusty, the houses were small, and most people there spoke only their local language. But Leo was different. From a young age, Leo loved listening to English songs on the radio. He didn't understand the words, but he loved the rhythm. He watched English movies with subtitles. He paused, wrote down new words, and tried to speak them alone. One day, Leo looked at the mirror and said to himself, "One day I will go to London. I will speak English with confidence." People laughed at him. Some said, "You? London? You don't even speak English." But Leo didn't stop dreaming. Years passed. Leo worked hard. He saved money. He studied English basics online. And finally, he got admission to a small English learning school in London. He bought a ticket. It was his first time on an airplane. He packed 2 shirts, 1 sweater, a dictionary, and a heart full of dreams. At the airport, everything was in English. Signs, announcements, even the food menu. Leo was nervous, but he tried. "1 coffee, please," he said softly to the lady at the cafe. She smiled. "Milk or black?" Leo froze. He didn't know what black coffee meant, but instead of panicking, he smiled and pointed to a picture. That was Leo's first English conversation. When the plane landed in London, Leo felt cold wind on his face. The city was fast, bright, and loud. Buses were red. Cars drove on the other side of the road. People walked quickly, speaking fast English Leo couldn't follow. He felt lost. At immigration, the officer asked, "Purpose of visit?" Leo stuttered. Learning? In English?" The officer smiled. "Welcome to London." That smile gave Leo hope. He stepped out, took a deep breath, and whispered, "This is where my English will grow." A tiny room and a big goal. Leo had booked a small shared room online. When he entered, the room was smaller than his kitchen back home. The bed was close to the window. The heater was not working. But Leo didn't complain. He opened his notebook and wrote in big letters, "I will speak English fluently." He started a new habit that night. Write 5 new English words every day. Speak 1 sentence in English to himself. Listen to 1 English audio for 10 minutes. This was Leo's simple strategy. No big plan, no expensive course, just consistency and courage. The first walk in a new world. Next day, Leo walked to his school. On the way, he heard people speaking English everywhere. "Mind the gap. Have a good one. Cheers, mate." He didn't understand them all, but he wrote them down in his notebook. He whispered them again and again while walking. He knew. Fluency is not in the classroom. It's in real life. That walk was not just a walk. It was Leo's first English lesson in London. Leo had no big vocabulary. He didn't speak fast. He wasn't confident yet. But he had started. And sometimes, starting is everything. He was not just in London to learn English. He was here to live it. Chapter 2. The Classroom of Confusion. First day in the English school. Leo woke up early. He was nervous but excited. He wore his best shirt, carried his small notebook, and walked through the cold streets of London to reach the English Learning Center. When he entered the classroom, it was full of people from many countries: Spain, Brazil, Egypt, Korea, Turkey, and more. Everyone looked different. But they all had one thing in common. They were here to learn English. A teacher walked in and said, "Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your first class. I'm Miss Laura, and I'll be guiding you for the next few weeks." Leo smiled and nodded. But inside, he was scared. What if I don't understand anything? What if they ask me to speak and I freeze? English was fast, very fast. Miss Laura started speaking. She was kind and friendly, but she spoke fast. Leo could only catch a few words. Today, introduction, pair work, vocabulary list. He looked around. Others were talking easily. Then she said, "Let's do introductions. Tell your partner your name, country, and one thing you like." Leo panicked. He had practiced speaking, but not this fast. A girl next to him said, "Hi, I'm Claire from Spain. I love music and travel. You?" Leo took a deep breath. I am Leo, from my town. I like books." It was slow, not smooth, but he did it. Clara smiled. "Nice. You love books? Me too." That one sentence gave Leo confidence. The first assignment. Miss Laura gave the class their first task. Write a small paragraph about your daily routine. In English. Leo opened his notebook and stared at the page. His mind went blank. He thought, how do I say, "I wake up"? How do I write, "I brush my teeth"? He picked up his phone, searched translations, and slowly began to write. I wake up at 7. I brush teeth. I eat breakfast. I walk school. He knew it wasn't perfect, but he wrote it. When Miss Laura read his work, she smiled and said, "Good effort, Leo. Next time, try. I brush my teeth and walk to school." Small fixes. She didn't laugh. She didn't correct harshly. She encouraged him. Speaking practice, the most difficult part. The teacher introduced a speaking game. Everyone had to pick a card and speak for 1 minute about the topic on it. Leo picked the card. My favorite food. His hands trembled. He stood in front of the class and said slowly, "My favorite food is noodles. In my country, we eat with chopsticks. I like spicy taste." People listened. Some smiled. He made mistakes. He forgot some words. But he didn't stop. When he finished, the whole class clapped. Leo's heart was full. He thought, this is how I will grow. Confused, but not defeated. Every day after class, Leo went home and revised everything. He had a system, his strategy. Watch the video lesson again at slow speed. Write down 5 new phrases from the day. Speak those phrases out loud, even alone. Make flashcards for verbs and tenses. Try using 1 new sentence when ordering food or talking to strangers. But even with this, some days were hard. He didn't understand jokes. He couldn't follow group talks. He made grammar mistakes. One day he even thought, maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe English is too hard for me. But he looked at his notebook and saw what he had written on day 1. I will speak English fluently. And he said to himself, I don't have to be perfect today. I just need to be better than yesterday. A small win. One afternoon, Leo walked into a coffee shop. The server asked, "Hey there, what can I get you?" Leo replied, "Hi, I'd like 1 black coffee, please. Medium size, for takeaway." The server smiled. "Perfect. Anything else?" Leo shook his head. As he waited for the coffee, he smiled. That was his first perfect order in English. No hesitation, no mistake. That moment was small, but to Leo, it was a victory. Leo's first days in London were full of fear, confusion, and mistakes. But every mistake became a lesson. Every struggle became a step. He didn't focus on grammar books only. He lived English, in shops, on streets, in conversations. He was building fluency step by step, using the most powerful strategy: never stop trying. Chapter 3. The Test of Confidence. This chapter is very long, filled with real emotions, simple language, and everyday struggles. Leo's journey continues, and things are about to get harder, but also more meaningful. The midterm surprise. It had been 1 month since Leo arrived in London. He was slowly adjusting to the city. He still got confused in conversations. He still needed subtitles while watching videos. But something had changed. He no longer felt like a stranger. Then one morning, Miss Laura made an announcement. Next week, we'll have our midterm English fluency test. It will include speaking, listening, and writing. Be prepared. Leo's heart skipped a beat. A test? Already? His hands felt cold. He remembered how he had failed an English test in his home country once. People laughed at him. He thought, what if I fail again? What if I forget everything on the test day? But another voice inside him whispered, you are not that boy anymore. You're in London now. You are growing, preparing with purpose. Leo started his preparation that same evening, but not the way most people did. While others memorized grammar rules, Leo followed his own strategy. Step 1. Learn from mistakes. He opened his notebook and reviewed every correction Miss Laura had given him in the past month. He made a list. Use articles, a and the. Don't say he go, say he goes. Use full sentences while speaking. He read them again and again until they made sense. Step 2. Practice listening smart. He downloaded English podcasts for beginners and listened while walking to school. If he didn't understand something, he paused, replayed, paused again. And when he learned something useful, he repeated it aloud. I'm just looking, thank you. Could you repeat that, please? I don't know the answer, but I'll try. Step 3. Practice speaking alone. Leo didn't have anyone to practice with after class, so he stood in front of a mirror every night and spoke. My name is Leo. Today I learned 3 new words. I made a mistake in class today, but it's okay. He knew fluency wasn't about being perfect. It was about being brave. Again and again. The test day panic. Test day arrived. Leo wore his favorite sweater, the one that made him feel confident. He reached the classroom early and sat quietly. Miss Laura entered with a warm smile. You'll be tested in 3 parts today: writing, listening, and speaking. Writing test. The topic was, describe your favorite day in London. Leo smiled. He wrote about the day he ordered coffee without a mistake. It wasn't dramatic, but it was real. Listening test. Miss Laura played a recording. A woman was booking a taxi. Leo listened closely. He missed one detail: the time. But he got most answers right. Speaking test. This was the scariest part. Each student had to speak for 2 minutes about a topic they picked from a box. Leo's card read, a place you like. He walked to the front of the class. His hands trembled. Everyone stared at him. He began, there is a park near my house in London. It is small but quiet. I go there after class. I listen to birds, and sometimes I talk to myself in English. People chuckled softly. That park helps me. When I feel lost, I go there and remember why I came to London. To learn, to grow, to become someone better. He looked up. The room was silent. Miss Laura said softly, thank you, Leo. That was beautiful. The result that changed everything. The next day, results were announced. Leo's hands shook as he took the paper. He opened it slowly. Writing, listening, speaking, comments. Excellent effort. Strong improvement. Keep going. Leo didn't smile immediately. He stared at the paper. All his fears, all the mistakes, all the hours of practice. It was worth it. He walked out of the classroom, sat on the stairs, and whispered, I passed. I really passed. But more than passing the test, he had passed the fear. This chapter wasn't about grammar or vocabulary. It was about believing in yourself when your voice shakes, about speaking even when you're unsure, about trusting your journey even when it's slow. Leo didn't win a trophy. He didn't give a perfect answer. But he grew, and that is what true fluency is. Progress over perfection. Chapter 4. Real Life, Real English. This chapter shows how Leo steps outside his classroom and begins to use English in real-life situations. Grocery stores, streets, strangers, and new friends. It's about making mistakes in public and growing stronger with each small conversation. School is easy. Real life is not. Leo had passed his first fluency test in class. He was proud. But he also knew something important now. Speaking English in class is one thing, but using English in the real world, that's the true test. In the classroom, people spoke slowly. Teachers corrected gently. Friends helped. But on the street, in shops, on buses, in restaurants, English was fast, full of accents, and completely real. Leo made a decision. I must start using English outside of class, even if I fail, even if I feel nervous. That's how I'll truly improve. This was the beginning of his real fluency journey. The grocery store experience. One rainy morning, Leo went to a grocery store. He needed milk, bread, and eggs. When he entered, he felt lost. Everything looked different from his hometown. He picked up the items and went to the cashier. The man at the counter said, All right, mate, how you doing? That's £6 50 pence. Got a loyalty card? Leo froze. What is loyalty card? He smiled awkwardly. I don't know. Sorry, no card. The man smiled back. No worries. Cash or card, Leo said. Card, please? He paid, took the bag, and walked out with a smile. Why? Because he had survived his first real conversation in public. The coffee shop confidence. Leo decided to challenge himself again. He walked into a nearby coffee shop. The girl at the counter asked, Hi there, what can I get started for you today? Leo replied confidently, 1 cappuccino medium for takeaway, please. She smiled. Coming right up. Your name? Leo. Leo. He paid, waited, and when she called, Cappuccino for Leo, he said, Thank you. This time, no fear, no confusion, just a normal conversation. To someone else, it was a simple coffee order. To Leo, it was proof of progress. The bus confusion and the accent shock. One afternoon, Leo got on a London double-decker bus. He had a bus pass but didn't know how to use it. He asked the driver, Excuse me, how to use this card? The driver replied quickly in a thick London accent. Just tap it on the reader, mate. Right there, yeah. Leo didn't understand tap or reader or mate, but he watched others and followed them. He tapped the card, sat down, and smiled. Another small lesson. Even when you don't understand everything, you can learn by observing and staying calm. A stranger becomes a teacher. In the evening, Leo was looking at frozen food in a supermarket. He didn't know how to cook most things. A man next to him noticed his confusion and said, You all right there? Need help finding something? Leo hesitated, then said, Yes, I want easy food. I don't know how to cook. What is good? The man laughed kindly. Try these ready meals. Microwave for 3 minutes and done. He explained everything simply. Leo thanked him. You speak slowly. I like that. I understand. The man said, we all start somewhere, friend. Keep going. Daily life practice. Leo's new routine. Leo changed his learning system again. Now he spent 1 hour outside daily just to practice English. Here was his new real-life strategy. Start conversations in coffee shops. Ask for directions even if he knew the way. Read signs and speak them out loud. Write 1 sentence about what he saw that day. Smile and say hello to strangers in English. It was not about grammar or exams. It was about confidence. He realized, language is not something you learn. Language is something you use. A visit to the museum. One Saturday, Leo visited a free museum. There were English signs everywhere. He read them slowly. He asked a guide. Excuse me, what is prehistoric? The guide explained. Leo listened and learned. He saw children asking questions. He copied their sentences. What does this mean? Can you explain this, please? Is this real? That day, he learned 20 new words, not from a book, but from walking, asking, and being curious. Chapter 5. First job, first failure, first growth. The pressure to speak English with real customers, his first big failure, and how he turns embarrassment into power. It's a deep turning point in his journey, filled with emotion, growth, and courage. Money is tight. Confidence is expensive. Leo had been in London for 2 months. His savings were getting low. London was expensive. Rent, groceries, bus fare, everything. He needed a part-time job to survive. But more than money, he needed real-world English experience. He thought, I've practiced English in class, in stores, on the street. Now I need to face real pressure, with real people. So he started applying for jobs. Job at a small grocery store. After 2 weeks of searching, a small grocery store offered Leo a part-time job as a store assistant. His tasks were simple. Greet customers, pack bags, clean shelves, answer basic questions. The manager, Mr. Thompson, said, your English is okay. You'll learn faster here. Just smile, be polite, and ask for help when needed. Leo was excited. This is it. My real English test begins now. First day, first challenge. On his first day, everything felt fast. People walked in, picked items quickly, asked questions with speed. Where's the almond milk? Is this gluten-free? You got change for a tenner? Leo understood half, maybe less. Once, a customer said, you all right, love? Leo froze. I am, okay, yes. The customer looked confused. She laughed kindly and walked away. Leo felt small. He thought, why can't I answer quickly? Why is my brain so slow? But he didn't quit. The day he broke down. One afternoon, the shop was busy. Leo was at the counter. A man in a rush came in and said fast, hey mate, where do you keep the lemon curd? I'm in a hurry. Leo blinked. Lemon card? The man frowned. Lemon curd, not card. It's a jam. Leo panicked. He didn't know what curd meant. He looked around helplessly. The customer sighed. Forget it. He walked out angrily. Leo's manager saw everything. Later, Mr. Thompson called him aside and said kindly, Leo, I know it's hard. You're doing well, but don't freeze. Just ask, could you please repeat that slowly? That's better than guessing. Leo nodded, but his eyes were wet. He walked home that night in silence. His chest felt heavy, his feet tired. He sat on his bed and whispered, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I can't do this. But Leo didn't quit. The next morning, Leo looked in the mirror and said, "No, this is part of my journey. If I quit now, I'll always regret it. I didn't come to London to run away. I came to rise." He made a new rule for himself. Leo's confidence fix strategy. 1. Repeat customer phrases when alone. 2. Watch British English videos with subtitles. 3. Write every mistake in a notebook. Practice answers to common questions. 5. Smile even when confused. And always say, "Could you please repeat that slowly?" A small victory. A few days later, an old woman came to the shop. She said, "Young man, where's the brown sugar?" Leo smiled confidently. "It's on aisle 3, left side." She said, "Thank you, dear. You're helpful." That small moment meant everything. He was getting better. Each mistake was a step forward. Each conversation was a small win. Leo realized something powerful. Confidence doesn't come before success. It grows with every failure, when you don't give up. Leo's Notebook of Growth. Leo started a new notebook called Mistakes That Made Me Smarter. Each evening he wrote, wrong words he said, new words he learned, funny moments that happened, what he could say better next time. It became his personal teacher. A lesson from a customer. One day, a man bought tea and asked, "Busy today, isn't it?" Leo replied, "Yes, many customer come. It is full." The man smiled. "Almost perfect. Just say, 'Yes, many customers have come.'" "It's been quite busy." Leo laughed. "Thank you. You are a good teacher." The man winked. "London will teach you. You just have to stay open." Leo didn't become fluent in 1 month. He didn't suddenly speak like a native speaker. But he grew stronger. He learned faster. He stood up again. Every time he fell. Because fluency isn't about speaking perfectly. It's about speaking bravely. If you never feel embarrassed, you're not learning hard enough. Leo was not just learning English. He was living it, feeling it, owning it. Chapter 6. The Dream Job Interview. From Learner to Leader. A new opportunity knocks. Leo had been living in London for almost a year. He had finished his English course. He had worked part-time, faced embarrassment, and kept growing. He was now confident in speaking English. Not perfect, but powerful. One evening, his classmate told him about a company hiring junior assistants in New York. The city Leo had dreamed of since childhood. He visited the website. The job description was in English. He read every word slowly, carefully. His eyes stopped at one line. Candidates must be confident in communication. Interview will be in English. His heart beat faster. Should I apply? Am I ready? His inner voice replied, "You didn't come this far to only come this far. Go for it." He clicked, "Apply now." Preparation. Not just words, but mindset. The interview was scheduled on Zoom, next Monday at 10 a.m. Leo had 6 days. He created a routine. Leo's 6-day strategy. Practice common interview questions. Record answers and listen back. Speak in front of the mirror every morning. Watch job interview videos in English. Replace self-doubt with self-talk. I am not perfect. I am prepared. He even practiced walking and sitting for the interview. He didn't want to look nervous. He wanted to feel ready. He wore his best shirt, ironed it, practiced his smile. This was not about fashion. It was about respect. For himself and for his dream. The interview begins. Monday, 9:59 a.m. Leo sat in front of his laptop. His hands were cold, but his eyes were focused. The screen blinked. The interviewer joined. A calm voice said, "Hello, Leo. Can you hear me?" Leo replied, "Yes, I can hear you clearly. Good morning, sir." The interview began. Question 1. Tell me something about yourself. Leo took a deep breath and answered, My name is Leo. I'm from a small village. I came to London 1 year ago to improve my English. In this year, I've not only learned a language, I've learned confidence, teamwork, and how to face people. I believe I can now grow more by working with professionals like you. The interviewer smiled. Question 2. Why do you want this job? Leo said, because I want to learn more, not just English, but how to work in a professional world. I don't want to stop growing. I know I'm not the best speaker, but I'm the best learner you'll ever hire. There was a pause. The interviewer leaned in slightly and said, That's a strong answer. A difficult question. Then came a tough one. Question 3. Have you ever failed in communication? How did you handle it? Leo smiled. Yes, many times. One time, a customer asked me for lemon curd, and I didn't understand. He walked away. I felt broken. But that day, I promised myself, I will never stop learning from my mistakes. Every failure became my teacher. And today, that's why I'm here, speaking to you with confidence. The interviewer paused again. Leo, that's honest. Thank you. The call that changed his life. The interview ended. Leo closed his laptop. He didn't know if he would get the job, but he felt proud. He hadn't just answered questions. He had shared his journey. 3 days later, he got an email. Subject: Welcome to the team. He opened it and read, Dear Leo, we are happy to offer you the junior assistant position in our New York office. He stood still. His heart beat loudly. His eyes filled with tears. He whispered, I did it. The flight from London to New York was magical. As Leo looked out of the airplane window, he remembered the dusty roads of his village, his first time ordering coffee in English, the embarrassment at his job, the nights he cried alone, the moment he almost gave up. And now, he was flying to New York with a job, with confidence, with a dream that became real. If Leo were sitting in front of you right now, he would say, Don't just learn English, live it. Make mistakes. Speak even when your voice shakes. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be brave. One sentence at a time. If Leo's journey inspired you, if you believe you can speak English like him, then don't forget to like this video. Share it with someone who needs motivation. Subscribe to our channel for more real stories, real tips, and real results. Your English journey begins now. One step, one word, one day at a time.